Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today we are doing a full face of some first and second impressions, just because I haven't picked up as much because I need to start clamping down on my spending, especially for makeup. I mean, a lot of my videos that I'm going to be filming soon are not necessarily going to be around like new makeup because I have to really knuckle down what I'm buying. But today we have a couple of things that I have used on camera before, like the HNB foundation. This is so bloody good, but I just wanted to use it again today. I've got new stuff by PLouise and also the Natural Collection, which is by Boots, and some Revolution things. So yeah, let's just kind of get started. So with the primer, I'm going in again, and this is again part of my second impressions, the e.l.f. Stay Cool Primer Stick. So I don't have a new primer because I haven't really seen anything that looks like that would be right up my street. And the first time that I used this, I really enjoyed using it because for someone who has very red skin and very kind of problematic and very sensitive skin, I feel like something like this is a really good starting point for my base because it will just help cool down my skin and it will really kind of like make everything just kind of not mattified because it doesn't really dry down, but it kind of soothes it and it helps it kind of prep for the next part. So I don't put it necessarily everywhere, but you do get a generous amount in here, which I think is pretty good. And of course e.l.f. are bringing stuff out like left, right and center. What was it? They just I think the day before that I am filming this, they posted that they're doing some like nighttime drops or something like that. So they're kind of doing a lot for their skincare as well, which is pretty good for a brand who do some really decent skincare. Like I've tried their cleansing balm, which is one of the best cleansing balms I've ever used, and now that they're coming out with these other type of drops, I mean, I haven't even picked up their setting spray yet because I kind of have a lot of setting sprays at the moment that I really don't need to get another one. So let's kind of, I mean, I've waited enough time for this to settle in. We're going to go back in with the HNB Cosmetics foundation, and I've been picking up a couple of foundations here and there recently. Like I picked up this one. I did do the Made by Mitchell one, which I did like. I didn't kind of love it completely just because there are parts of it that I felt didn't work for me and that there were parts that completely did work for me. This is in the shade, let me see if I can find it, MF5N. 5N, in case MF, I don't know what that means. But yeah, this shade is pretty okay for me. I think I kind of went a little bit orange, but when it comes to coverage, it's really, really good coverage. I mean, it's meant to be kind of like, I mean, it's definitely weightless, and I think it's meant to be like a medium to buildable coverage, and I feel like it builds up like very, very quickly. And for someone who, I say this in like all my videos when I kind of test out foundations and stuff like that, I need something that is a bit full coverage, and I want to kind of be able to cover up a lot of my redness and be able to kind of feel comfortable with wearing makeup for most of the day. Because if I wear makeup when I'm not filming, it's mainly because when I'm at work or if I'm going to see friends or family and stuff, and I just make a bit more of an effort. But now that the summer's coming, I feel like having a full coverage foundation is obviously not going to be the best for me because it will just probably feel a bit cakey and a bit too heavy. And the Made by Mitchell one I did mention would be really nice as a kind of light foundation because it is a tint essentially. It's not a foundation, but I like to have a bit of coverage, and that gave me, I would probably say it gave me like maybe 60% coverage, and I do need to use it a couple more times because the 2 times that I've used it, it kind of, I think I need to find the right primer. Okay, I've let that settle in, so now we're going to go on to bronzer. So I have picked up the new PLouise Cheek of It Baked Bronzer. So I actually got a little set on TikTok. So you get the powder bronzer, you get a cream bronzer, and you get a brush for £18. And I was kind of blown away. I was kind of like, all right, normally this by itself I'm pretty sure is like £15. I think this by itself was also 15. I don't know how much the brush is kind of getting it by itself, but this deal was also available on her website, and her website was really annoying me because I was trying to order it through her website just so I think sometimes you get like £1 or £2 shipping compared to TikTok, but the website just wasn't kind of cooperating. I think now that they have this new loyalty system, and I did reset my password, but I was trying to reset it again. It wouldn't send me the email, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to order from her TikTok. And I also got one of her new little magazine things. So I know this is very new to like her system, where I think every month I could be getting this wrong, I'm not sure, but they will have like an item that you get for free when you make any type of purchase. So for this one, it's one of her lip conditioners. I've used so many of these, and that's one of the reasons that I don't buy her budget boxes, is because all the time you get bloody lip products and I'm not interested in these type of products. But the fact that you get one of these is pretty awesome. So yeah, I got the shade Blue Raspberry, so I look forward to using that. But today I am going to use the baked bronzer, because the liquid one, I have used her blushes before and I do really like them. I was going to do like a side-by-side comparison, but I kind of was just like, I'll just use one, and then the other one I will probably use it in a future purchase. So she came out with a big array of shades, and I decided to get the shade Time for Tea, which is actually one of the lightest shades, because when I bronze I do not really want a lot of like deep tones because I don't know what I'm doing. But this is really light. This is kind of like a setting powder, but yeah, I thought I would just go safe and just buy like the lightest shade. So also, yeah, you get this shade, this one, which is Time for Tea. So you basically select your shade and then you just go for it. So we are just going to use the brush today because I'm very excited. The brush is gorgeous. I use quite a lot of her brushes, and the design is very, very cute. Again, I don't know how much the brush is by itself, but these are like £15 if you just buy it by itself. But if the bundle is still available, you get 3 for £18, which is pretty damn insane. So we are just going to take a small amount. Again, we're not taking too much. There's quite a bit of fallout, so I'm just going to tap off any excess because it's a lot. And then we're just going to kind of tap it and blend it in, and there's nothing there. I can't see anything. When I was looking at her page to kind of see what shades would be there, they all came up, they look slightly orange for me, and I didn't want anything that would be too orange because I don't like orange bronzers. I just want to kind of look slightly like awake because sometimes with my foundations I use really like white foundations, which is unintentional because I don't always match myself very well. Okay, I know I've definitely chosen the wrong shade. This is like non-existent on me, and I know that people who are much more paler than me will need something like this, but for me this is way too light. I kind of feel like I want to go in with the cream one. I just hope it's not going to mess it up because I did just put down powder. So let's just kind of turn this on. Let's just kind of get some product out and go from there, because when I've used her cream ones like this before, I've not been a fan just because they just don't really come out that well for me. Okay, so this is slowly coming out. I'm going to just kind of tap it. This is honestly like, this is it's kind of like my foundation type of shade. It kind of looks like I could use this as a kind of cream powder cream foundation or something because it is just white. So I think I'm not going to use this as a bronzer because this really doesn't give me anything. It's my fault. I mean, I have picked up the wrong shade, and I don't learn from my lessons. But you know what? For £18, it's such a good value. Like, again, I'm not the biggest fan of like her applicator when it comes to these kind of products, but then when it comes to her powder products, I really think They do some really nice stuff, and even the brush itself is really, really nice. Like, it's a really nice kind of just like kind of buffing brush. So let's go into blush. So I have this by Revolution. This is their Bright Light Blush Drop. So I picked this up in Boots, and for some reason this was £3.50. I don't know if they had gotten the wrong sticker on this or anything like that, but it doesn't look like it's been tampered with because it was completely wrapped up in plastic, and I just picked it up because everything else was not. I don't have my palette on me, I'm just going to use my hands, but I'm going to use this kind of like as a blush slash highlighter because I haven't really heard many people talk about this. So I'm just going to just tap it on and see if it comes out. Hopefully it will, because it's quite a nice shade. I think they come out with some bronzing drops, and they also came out with these blush ones as well, and I got the shade Rosy Pink. So I'm just going to take a little bit more because that was not enough, but a big punch, which is what I like in highlighter slash blushes, because I want to kind of, it's good to have like a multi-use product. Like, I do have a highlighter that I wanted to use today, but it's such an old product I've used before. I just kind of brought it with me just in case. Okay, that's fine. I mean, my makeup is literally sweating off right now. It is not the, it's quite a humid day today, and I feel like it's going to rain soon, so I'm kind of just going through everything. But so far, I mean, everything is okay. It's just that bronzer is not my shade, and again, I don't really know who would use that shade as a bronzer. Like, if anyone who is lighter than me and they don't want anything too heavy, I thought that maybe they would have gone a tad like slightly deeper than like Time for Tea, because that was very, very light. So we're going to go on to eyeshadow, and I had these by Odens that I got in the mystery box, but I need to use like a base first. So I'm going in with this Tarte palette, and I'm just going to lay down a couple of shades. With these, I might go in with this one, which is called Charlotte, because this one is a deep purple, and normally I would go for a purple, absolutely, but the lips are going to be a little bit, so I kind of want this one to be a bit more subtle. So yeah, we're just going to kind of go in with a couple of shades of this palette. Okay, so this is in the shade Charlotte, and this is from a really old kind of series that they've done. I don't think this is not, definitely not part of their new kind of you know, single shadow collection, because I've had this longer than that collection has come out, I'm guessing. So it's kind of like a duochrome type style, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a swatch because oof, it's kind of like a pinky, it's got, yeah, it's got kind of like pink specks in it, so I think it might work really well with the lips. So I'm just going to kind of get this on with a flat brush. I know that Odens eye shades are absolutely stunning because I've used a couple of their palettes before, and they have some gorgeous, gorgeous shades. And this is quite reminiscent of the Urban Decay kind of like Space Cowboy. Is it Space Cowboy? I can't remember. Moon something. And I'm just going to use my finger because using a brush I don't feel is giving it complete oomph. That's really nice. That's really kind of like, if I'm going to see that ABBA kind of like pop-up thing, that kind of show that they have going on, this will be like perfect to wear for that. It's kind of like a duochrome and kind of like shimmer. It is very, very stunning. It's difficult to be able to wear it by itself, so you definitely need to have something laid at the bottom of it. And then now we're just going to end on the lips. So I actually have two lip products that I wanted to use, but I know this one I'm not going to use. So this is by Rimmel, and this is their Kind and Free hyaluronic acid lipstick, or is it a lip balm? I'm not too sure. I picked this up at a beauty outlet, and they had the testers there, and I wasn't quite sure if it was like a lipstick or a lip balm, but I'm going to save this for another video because Boots have kind of like revamped their natural collection. So their collection is one of the most affordable makeup that you can get, and I'm pretty sure I think everything is under like £5 or £6. It's kind of like their 17 range, and I've never tried a whole load of their stuff because it didn't look the best, but some of their stuff is quite decent. But I did pick up one of their lipsticks, and this is in the shade Cranberry. So I really wanted to get their kind of, they had like a pinky, not like a pinky one, but like a rose gold kind of esque. I really wanted to try that, but all the ones that they had there were open, and I was like, I'm not going to touch this because people need to stop opening packages. But I'm going to go in with this one. I don't believe I've tried the original version, so I don't know if it's just their packaging that has changed or the formula. So let's get this on. Okay, so this is very sheer. It's very light. I mean, I wanted to go quite light-handed because when it comes to these type of lipsticks, I make an absolute mess. But I feel like it's gone on really nicely. It's not obviously going to last a very long time on my lips, especially if I eat something straight away. And yeah, this is my finished look. And actually, I've got to mention, I think this is about £3 or 3.50. So again, very, very affordable. And Boots do some really good stuff. Their 17 range is pretty decent. But yeah, this is my finished look. I am just sweating. It is so warm, so I cannot even give you like a complete review of everything that I've tried because I feel like I haven't given it a fair chance because it just doesn't look that great. I mean, my eyes look really cute and my lips also do as well. The blush is okay, it's fine. I mean, like the blush drops, I will definitely use them again. I just feel like they just need a bit more oomph. And then the bronzer, we've had this conversation about my selection of shades. I just get a bit scared, but I have in her advent calendar, I did get the kind of selection of different bronzers. So those are really great to look at, and I didn't remember at the time. The foundation is great. It's kind of hanging on pretty decently considering my top lip is just notorious for being the worst. And then this is nice and cooling. I might even end up using this without makeup because it just felt so damn nice. And yeah, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias because I'm always active on there, and I appreciate you sitting down and listening to me ramble on. I shall see you soon. Bye bye.